Screen is visible to all and I'm audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll discuss about the network and perimeter auditing, how we can done the auditing, what is the auditing part and what are the SOPs for that. So what is a particular audit definition? A security audit is a policy-based assessment of procedures and practices of a site, assessing the level of risk created by those actions. Actually, in the organization, there should be a policy which is having the information about how the devices and how the procedures are followed for the devices, how devices will be accessed and how device will be accessed by the users, how many users are there. There should be policies, and that policies to check that whether the policies are working in a correct manner that is implemented in the organization is called as an audit. The assessment process, which will develop systems and procedures within an organization, creates awareness amongst the employees and users and ensure compliance with legislation through periodic checking of processes. It is a periodically checking of the processes and procedures which are implemented in the organization. It can be done. There are a number of policies which are implemented in the organization. It can be of a physical security, it can be of application security, it can be whether of a network security. That policies are created, and to check that policies whether they are implemented or not, it is called the audit. So why we need the audit? To check the vulnerable areas, to check the gaps in between the security, obtain specific security information, allow for the remediation, check for the compliance, and ensure ongoing security, because it is an ongoing process. Whenever you go for the audit, you will find some gaps into the organization's network, and you will let them know to how to do and how to fix that gaps. You will provide the remedies. The audit will provide the remedies how you can make it more secure. And after that implementation of that remedies, you need to audit it again. And then you check that whether you are closing or fixing that gaps, either any other vulnerability is open or those are already fixed. So this is a continuous process. It is a process to ensure that site networks and systems are efficient and foolproof. Who needs the security auditing? Security auditing is necessary for every organization using the internet, which is connected to the internet. That organization need to be audited. Its devices which are connected, how they are connected to internet, how they are connected to intranet, what policies are used on that firewall or any other device which is connected to the network. You should never fear about the audit. It will let you know the gaps of your network security or any other security where it is auditing is done. Auditing is a very good practice. It will enhancing the security of your organization. These are the audit phases. One is external audit, second is internal audit, and third is reporting. Internal audit is done by the internal team of the organization. It checks the loopholes of that organization, the devices which are connected, the processes which are followed, and that can be information collected by them from the users which are working with the person who are fixing that loopholes. They can internal audit can be done with the help of policy reviewing, interviewees, and environment and the physical security checks. It can also done on the internal penetration testing. You have implanted a router in your organization or a switch or a firewall or any server in your organization, and you want to check that whether that router and a switch or any peripheral can be attacked by from outside by someone. You need to check that things you need to do the audit. After performing the internal audit, then the external audit will be performed. In the external audit, they will check the outputs which are coming from the internal audit. And after that, they also do external penetration testing to that network. The combination of both internal and external, they will create a report of that network. What they found in that audit process, what are the loopholes, what are the gaps, where are the risk on the network, what are the ports are open, any vulnerability available on the server or any device. They check and present a report on that. Internal audit of a network. These are the factors on which the audit is done, or the network audit is done on the organization. What is the location of devices on the network? The devices are placed in which section, and those are accessed by who, and what type of and what level of authentication and authorization is providing to that user. Whether they are you have a device, whether they are creating their backups, they are used in redundant mode, or you have a single device. Like suppose you have a firewall, a single firewall, and you don't have placed in a HA, high availability, that will be a gap. In the audit, they will suggest you that your firewall must be in a HA mode. Staging network. Staging network is a kind of a network where is the environment of the production server is created, and that is given to a penetration tester or a vulnerability assessment person. He will check whether the application which is running on the staging server is similar to a production server, and what are the gaps and what are the vulnerabilities present on that application. Staging network and a production network is a kind of a similar network, but staging network is not exposing outside. How the network is monitored, it is the part of the internal audit. What are the cabling practices, how the cables are secured, whether they are exposed in somewhere. Other network segmentation, remote access to the network, how the network can be accessed from the remote. If there are some policies which are able to connect to the network, what kind of policies they are working on that, whether the telnet is open or the SSH service is running on that. In the networks, there are firewalls and routers, network access, public services, and after that, checking all the things, you will get the remediations. If I talk about a router or a switch, these are the basic component of a network. Every organization have it. The switch and a router is there in the organization. But depends that the switch is of a layer 2 switch or a layer 3 switch or a manageable switch or unmanageable switch. If you have a manageable switch, there are some practices what to do with the manageable switch. What kind of services and what kind of hardening is done on that switch. You should create a hardening checklist of every device. There are two types of hardening. One is a foundation hardening, and then after that, you need to do a secure hardening of any device. Foundation hardening is that whenever you get a new device in the organization, that are the basic steps you need to follow to secure that device. On every device, that foundation hardening will be done. That secure hardening is done with the depends upon the how organization want to secure, which services the organization want to work and which want to close. That is the secure hardening. Switches, primary reason of the creation, limit of collision domain, introduction to the VLAN technology, reduce cost per cost. Not a security system, has security side effects, frequently deployed insecurely. As I told you that if you have a manageable switch, then you need to create the VLANs in the switch. That will help you to differentiate between a management network and a internet or intranet. You can create a VLAN, then on from that only VLAN, the users which are connected to that VLAN only have the access of that devices to do the management on that device, to maintain that device. VLAN can serve multiple networks in a single switch, can trunk data between the switches. It run and work only in the case of management switches, manageable switches. Audit items, how it is managed, logging appropriate, is it up to date, what services does it offer, only required ports are active, VLANs are properly secured. How it is managed, it is means that there are number of users are created to access that device, but which user have what kind of authentication and authority for that switch. Is there is a logging method for that switch? They created a logs, and whether they are transferred to any syslog or any centralized server, and whether they are used and accessed by a centralized server, authentication server called as a radius server or a TACAS server. Is it up to date? Whether its firmware is up to date? Because if they are running an old version of the firmware, it might possible that there are a number of vulnerabilities are present on the OS also, that firmware OS also. So to fix that vulnerabilities, you need to patch up that firmware. Security patches are available. You need to update that firmware. What kind of services and what kind of ports are open on that switch or any other machine. Whether VLANs are secured properly. These are the things which are done in the auditing. You need to create a checklist. What kind of commands, what kind of things you need to check on the switch if you get the audit to a switch or a router or a firewall. There are number of checklists are available, whether you are working on a Cisco device, whether you are working on a Juniper device, you can get a benchmark, and from that benchmarks, you can create your own checklist that can be helped to secure your network. How the devices are done to the in the management thing. Management data over the secure channel. You having a router or a switch in your organization and you are managing through a telnet service, or telnet port is open on that machine. Always always work on their secure channels. Need to execute or create the SSH server, that is port number 22. That is a secure channel for accessing the device to maintain that device. Never use the SNMP version 1 and 2. Always use the SNMP version 3. IPsec must be implemented. If you are working with the FTP, secure channel should be used in the case of FTP. And always careful with the dark network. As I told you about the authentication server, you need to create a authentication centralized authentication server. You can create a Takas server or Radius server, which will help you to create a centralized authentication for your devices. These are the things which are supported by the Cisco model. AAA authentication is done on the Cisco. You can create a Radius server. You can configure how it is configured and how much it is restricted. You can configure it on switches. Logging. Why logging is so important? Actually, whenever a device create a log or event is fired, there should be logs should be created. And the log will send to a centralized log server. That is, whether it's a syslog server, it's created in the organization. And that log is sent to that syslog server. And that device, whether it's of a switch, whether it's of a router, any firewall, any UTM, kind of any device, it should be up to date. Up to date kind of firmware is also updated, and its time zone is also updated. Because whenever an event is fired or log is created, if the time is not synchronized with your NTP server, it will create a fake date of that event. And whenever you analyze the logs, it will display a fake date that will not gives you the perfect information when the event is fired and from where the information is fired. From the analysis and the reporting of the logging, if the time sync is not working or you don't have a centralized NTP, network time protocol is not, service is not running in your organization and it's running from the outside, it can possible that the time zone is differ from one device to another device. That will mismatch your logging facility. And always do that. Their default users should be restricted or should be closed, should be deleted. And you can give the full authentication to a switch or a device with another name. Like we have a user is an admin, just disable it and create another user, give the permission to that. These are the tools which are used for the auditing of your devices. There are number of tools. These are paid tools and also some freeware tools are also there. Nmap you can use to check the ports, which ports are running on that machine or that device, which ports are open. And Nessus is a vulnerability scanner, but it is not a free tool. Nessus is a paid tool. But with the free version, you can scan 16 IPs. They will let you know about the vulnerabilities present on that operating system of that device. And there is one more vulnerability assessment tool that is called the OpenVAS. That is a kind of open source tool. They work on the vulnerabilities which are present on the on the operating system, and they will also provide you the remediation how their vulnerabilities can fixed. Let me show you one checklist of. Is my screen is visible to all? So this is a checklist for a Cisco switch or a router. You can check or audit checklist, you can say that. And here is providing the remediations also. How you need to check the services or the vulnerabilities are present with that this is a manual checklist which is created from the benchmark. You can use any benchmark. There are benchmarks are available of NEST, CAES benchmarks are available. You can use any benchmark. If you have a configuration file of any device, like I'm talking about a Cisco device, and you have a configuration file of a switch, and you want to do that vulnerability assessment of that switch, you can use a tool Nipper that is work with the Cisco devices. You need to just import that configuration file to that tool, and it will let you know the vulnerability is present on your device. Because in every configuration, it is written what are policies and what are the security features are applied on that machine, on that device. Like you have created a password, it is a password is hardened, but it is not working in the MD5 encryption is not running on that configuration. So to check the configuration file, it will accesses and let you know that password is there, but MD5 encryption is not working on that. And it also let you know how you can fix that vulnerability. There are some other tools are available, that is Nexpose of Rapid7. It let you know, check the servers and their hardening process, and will let you know that what are the vulnerabilities are present on that machine. See, this is the checklist and how to set and how to secure the passwords of your existing switch and a router. How to check the SSH is configured. There's a possibility that you have configured a SSH, but the version of SSH is vulnerable. Then there is also a vulnerability. And you need to install the SSH and need to update that SSH version also. This is the firewall checklist. See, audit is the process of not only checking the configuration files of that device. It is also check the physical security and other thing, the rules of that which is implemented on the firewall, what kind of VLANs are created, how the how the user is communicated with the internet, and how the process will followed. Means everything is checked in the audit. What are how the process is followed. Like suppose if a user trying to use the internet or browse on any website, from end of the user to the web server, what are the processes which are followed? What kind of policies are implemented on the firewall? You have a firewall implemented in your organization, but that firewall is exposed for every user. That is the point of physical security. And you have a firewall that is placed in a room, and that room can be accessed by any user. And there is no CCTV cameras and no physical security person is sitting outside that door. That is a part of audit. The network devices are used, but how they are perfectly secured, whether it's with the configuration, whether it's of a physical security point of view. How the password management is done on that firewall. You have created a password and the password is very weak, and also you are not using a secure and a hardened password. You are using the password with your organization name at the rate 123. Sometimes it's happen that device you have secure the implemented the policies on the device, but the password is very weak. Password need to be changed after 30 days. And there is a policy of taking the backup and restoration and the logging. What is the retention period of the logs? For how much time the logs are saved? It is written in the policy. What are the firewall rule sets are implemented? Whether the HTTP request or HTTPS request are working, or which ports are running on that device, whether it's of a switch or a router or a UTM or IDS or IPS. You have installed all the devices, all the perimeter security devices, but the process to implement that devices is not correct. That is also a flaw. That is also a gap. You have created a DMZ, but servers are not placed in the DMZ zone. So each and everything regarding the network and their device security, it's done in the audit process. So this is a checklist for the switch, for the Cisco switch, and in the another tab, it is showing what are the remediations to fix that. You have created a login for a user, but you forgot to set the logout time, session timeout. Also can say that session timeout to implement that session timeout. That is also a gap for the security. How the device can be accessed. The device can be accessed by which user? You have created 3 users on the device, and each and every user have the authentication of read and write privilege. But in the audit, there must be under the best practices, you must suggest that only 1 or 2 users are having the authenticity and the right privilege to that user to check do the modification to that machine or that device. And rest, if you are giving a privilege of that switch, you need to create the level of that authentication on which only services they can work on it. To disable the SNMP, CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol should be disabled. There are a number of things you need to do in the vulnerability assessment. You need to check whether a device is secured enough to place in the network or not. Before placing and implemented the device, you need to harden that device. You need to create a list of every device, how the device is hardened, how a server can be hardened. Like suppose if I'm giving you an example of a server, I'm having a Linux server in my organization and I want that to access that server from remote with the SSH service, but not with the port number 22. It can also possible that you can change the port of SSH to another port. Still, the thing is, you change the port and the user who is accessing that port must know that the service is running this is the SSH, but it is not running on the port number 22. That service, that port is forwarded to another port. That is a little example of how you can harden your server services. And you can do one more thing. If you want to harden your servers, you just close all the ports when you are doing the hardening. All the ports and all the services which are default, which are execute and run by the operating system by default. And every service will put it off on the boot of your server. And after finish that task, you need to open only that services which are used on that server. Like suppose you're having an application server and you need to open only port number 80 or 8080 if you are working with the Tomcat Apache. Rest ports are closed. Then it will help you to implement a secure channel of that server. Here it is, check the authentication, NTP authentication status. If a device is not communicated with the network time protocol or a centralized time zone server, then the problem of the logging will be happen. Disable the router name and DNS name resolution. Sometimes it also happens that in the host name, you write the router name or the organization name or any other information that can help the hacker to get the information gathering process. Always do a name which is not with the organization name or the name of the same process of that router. Like suppose you have implemented a Juniper switch and its model is 300, and in the host name it is written that Juniper 300. There are some tools which are used to scan the network. It will let you know that there is a switch whose name is a Juniper, and from that name it can get the information about the switch firmware and also the vulnerabilities which are present on that device, and that vulnerabilities can exploit your device. So monitoring the services logs, you need to monitor the logs are implemented and they are saved on your machine. Enable DNS query logging on the Windows 2008 and 2012. This is the point of in the Windows server. So with that, I'm concluding my thing. If any question, please put in the chat box. So can go for the question and answer point. So let me show you some list of the tools which are used for the vulnerability scanning. As I told you that OpenVAS is a tool which helps you to do the vulnerability scanning. It can work with the network devices, also with the servers, also with the desktop. Nessus is also there, offer Tenable security. Any question regarding this?
Sir, if it is not there, I think you can conclude it, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So I'm concluding my session here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take a lunch break. Naresh, sir?
Right, sir.
Naresh, sir? Okay, sir. We'll take a lunch break till 2:15. And next session will start at 2:15. Thank you. Thank you all of you.